Good day, everyone. Today, I will be discussing a deeply important and sensitive topic, the legal and human rights implication of female genital mutilation. This presentation provides a comprehensive legal and human rights analysis of female genital mutilation, examining its definition, severe effects on women, its interpretation through a legal lens, and the ongoing global efforts towards its elimination. Female genital mutilation refers to all procedures involving the partial or total removal of the external female genitalia for non-medical reasons. It's often performed on young girls between infancy and age 15. While it is sometimes justified as a cultural or traditional practice, FGM is in reality a severe violation of women's and girls' fundamental human rights. It is a practice rooted in discrimination, and its effects, both physical and psychological, can last a lifetime. FGM violates a woman's bodily integrity. It removes healthy tissues and damages the natural functions of her body. The immediate complications following an FGM procedure constitute severe physical trauma, often leading to acute medical crisis and life-threatening conditions, such as hemorrhage and death or excessive bleeding, which is a significant risk, often leading directly to shock and sometimes in tragic cases it leads to death. Second, it might lead to infections and sepsis because of the use of non-sterile instruments and environments which causes severe infections like tetanus, contributing to systemic illness. And third, it also causes intense pain and shock because the procedure itself inflicts severe immediate pain, leading to psychological trauma and physiological shock in the victim. So beyond these immediate complications are also long-term medical and psychological effects such as urinary and vaginal problems or chronic urinary tract infections, painful urination, vaginal itching, discharge, and bacterial vaginosis, which often persist throughout or entire a woman's life. Next is menstrual difficulties. Scarring can lead to painful menstruations and significant difficulty in passing menstrual blood requiring medical intervention. It may also cause scar tissue and sexual dysfunction, the development of extensive scar tissue or keloids, and subsequent sexual problems, including severe pain during intercourse and decreased satisfaction, profoundly affects quality of life. And lastly, it may also cause psychological trauma because of the long term effects, which include depression, anxiety, low self esteem, and PTSD or post traumatic stress disorder resulting from the forced physical violation. This shows that FGM is not simply a cultural tradition, it is a lifelong sentence of pain and suffering that deprives women of their health, dignity, and autonomy. To understand why this practice persists, we can look at it through the dominance theory of radical feminism. This theory views FGM as a patriarchal control mechanism, a way for male dominated societies to control female sexuality and behavior. It ensures that women remain obedient and pure according to traditional standards. In essence, FGM suppresses a woman's autonomy and enforces silence. It is an act of power, one that reinforces the idea that a woman's body does not belong to her, but to the society or culture she lives in. From this perspective, FGM is not just a harmful practice, it is a symbol of gender inequality and the struggle for women to reclaim ownership of their bodies. From a legal standpoint, FGM clearly violates several international human rights instruments. First, it violates the right to life, liberty, and security of a person under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, since the procedure can cause death and permanent physical harm. Second, it breaches the prohibition against torture or cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment under the Covenant on Economic, Social, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Third, it violates the right to health under the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. Most importantly, under the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, states are obligated to abolish customs and practices that discriminate against women, modify social and cultural patterns that perpetuate female inferiority, and ensure equal access to healthcare. By failing to eliminate female genital mutilation, states fail to protect women's basic human rights. Despite strong international condemnation, FGM still exists today in parts of Africa, the Middle East, and even among migrant communities around the world. However, there are ongoing global efforts to end this practice by 2030, in line with the UN General Assembly resolution. These efforts include strengthening legal enforcement, such as criminalizing and prosecuting FGM, community-led programs where local leaders and families commit publicly to abandoning the practice, education and healthcare integration, where this includes training medical professionals and teaching young people about gender equality and bodily rights, youth advocacy, empowering both young women and men to challenge these harmful norms within their own communities. Ending FGM requires not only laws but also social transformation, a change in mindset, culture, and education. In conclusion, female genital mutilation is not a cultural practice to be preserved. It is a human rights violation to be abolished. It violates a woman's right to life, health, dignity, and freedom from torture. It is a manifestation of inequality and control that no culture should continue to justify. As future leaders, advocates, and citizens, it is our duty to support efforts that protect women's bodies, promote education, and empower communities to change. So these are some of our references and sources. Thank you, and this is our report. And let us remember, protecting women's bodies means protecting their rights, their dignity, and their future. Thank you.